Hello and welcome to Lavender Town VGC. I'm your host with the Ghost Rye, and today we're gonna do something a little bit different. Since I was terrible last week, I was working a ton. My computer was being all crazy. I didn't get a lot of videos uploaded. I think I had an upload on Monday, and then we're gonna have another one today on Sunday. I'm doing 2 episodes today on Sunday. We're gonna do something a little different as a bonus. My apologies for leaving you guys hanging all week. Not enough VGC content. So I'm gonna show you the team that I'm gonna start using as of tomorrow. So there'll be a new episode tomorrow with this team. This is a team I built around Blacephalon. So I wanted to go over the Pokemon itself and then over how I built a team around it. Things that I think are going to be a struggle for us, things that I think we're going to do really well against. So let's get right into it. Number 1, we got our boy Blacephalon here. Brand new Ultra Beast, Ghost Fire, which is really great offensively, not so great defensively. And I think as you can see by his stats here, definitely a glass cannon. So initially when I first was building the team, I was planning on using the Fire Z move off of Mind Blown. Mind Blown does a ton of damage, 150 base power, but I'm going to lose 50% of my max HP. And it hits everybody. So it hits my partner as well. That's insanely powerful, especially if you boost it with the Sun, which is my plan for this team. But when I was testing it, it just didn't really work with having the Z move. So I went with the Choice Scarf, which with his speed stat, he's gonna pretty much outspeed everything. So I'm running, what is it? I'm running Timid on mine. I want to have Matt be as fast as humanly possible for this Pokemon. There's things in his speed range that if they're scarfed could take me out. Like, for example, a Scarf Kartana could be a problem because again my speed stat is 107. I think Kartana is 109, something like that. So, yeah, we are going to stick with the Timid Nature. Max special attack, max speed. There's really no point investing too much in bulk here because he's going to pretty much go down to 1 hit almost all the time unless he, resists it. So, the main problem I have with Blacephalon was he needs a great partner that is going to work really well with him and that can, boost him with Helping Hands and also heal him back. Because Mind Blown does 50% of my health. I can only Mind Blown twice. Because the way the damage rounds it out, they don't let you hit Mind Blown a 3rd time. It'll only be twice. I'll lose 50% and 50% again. There's no way to adjust the HP EV so that you live 1. It's not like the way leftovers would work. So the perfect partner I think for Blacephalon is a regular Gardevoir, not Mega Gardevoir, just regular Gardevoir. This is Timid Max Speed. With Timid Max Speed, I'm going to outspeed an Adamant Max Speed Landorus as long as it's not Choice Scarf. This is a very weird set. I've never run a fast support Gardevoir, but it can definitely work, and it works really well with Blacephalon. The reason we're using Gardevoir is because of her ability Telepathy. This Pokemon does not take damage from attacks made by its allies, so I can have Gardevoir out there next to Blacephalon and get 2 Mind Blowns off without damaging Gardevoir at all. I can Helping Hand boost the Mind Blown, so it's going to do even more insane, crazy damage, which is pretty, insane when you... the KOs Blacephalon can get off of Mind Blown are nuts. It's a lot of damage. So with Helping Hand boosted, it's going to really hurt. And so the way this works, too, is because Gardevoir is pretty fast, against slower Mons, I can Mind Blown with Blacephalon, and then Heal Pulse my Blacephalon. So he's back to full, and then as long as he doesn't die on that turn from being doubled into, or from just taking a super effective hit, I can usually get another couple of rounds of Mind Blown off. It doesn't always work. It's just nice having the Heal Pulse in general. Having a fast Heal Pulse is really cool, especially because my team's a little bit slower. Protect, obviously pretty standard, and then Icy Wind. So, again, I don't have, any special attack investment, really. I have, 4 in special attack here. I put all my I put all of my points on this set into being really, really bulky. So we've got 144 in HP, 36 special defense, 72 defense, max speed Timid, and the 4 in special attack don't really do anything. They're just there because it's extra damage for the Icy Wind. Icy Wind is there for Scarf Landorus usually. That's mostly what I end up using it for. And against the Scarf Lando, even with only 4 points of special attack, it's usually a 2-hit KO. So I'll take it. So when I was building the team, I was like, all right, Blacephalon's great, but he's going to get rocked by, ground types. So if I can lead off with by the way, this took me forever, but I did catch a Blacephalon with Hidden Power Ice. So If I see a Landorus, which it does happen a lot, I usually lead Landorus. Against a Landorus, I'll lead Blacephalon Gardevoir. And then I'll just Helping Hand, Hidden Power Ice. Gets a KO pretty much every time. But yeah, as you can see here, Blacephalon, it's such a frail Pokemon that you have to build around its weaknesses. So the next one I added into the squad was Gastrodon. I hate Gastrodon because it's so good. I think it's a super lame Pokemon in general, but it's kind of amazing. The more I've been using it now, I see why everyone runs Gastrodon. It's like Storm Drain's an amazing ability. So Storm Drain draws water moves to itself to raise its special attack by 1, water immunity. So against single target water attacks, which is basically rain teams, I put Gastrodon on this team to help with my rain matchup because this is kind of a sun team. So Gastrodon gets access to like a lot of really cool moves. He gets tutors now, so we can tutor him Earth Power. Stab Earth Power hits pretty hard coming from Gastrodon, even though this isn't like a really super offensive Gastrodon. Earth Power, Ice Beam, Muddy Water, Recover. The other thing is you can get rid of Muddy Water, and you could do Sludge Bomb if you wanted to. So since it's kind of tough because so Gastrodon, I use the Expert Belt on Gastrodon. I think that's really cool for an item, so that when you do decide you want to go on the offense, you're doing that little bit of extra damage. It's not as big as if you were using choice specs, obviously, but it's still definitely you can see the boost in damage when you do land a super effective hit. Sludge Bomb is cool. What else does he get that I actually like? Let me see. What was the other one I was thinking on him? Does he get Gastro Acid? No, not Gastro Acid. That is illegal. I'm trying to think. There's like another good poison move. I mean, again, this is kind of a sun team, so I usually did end up just going with Sludge Bomb. Because, Muddy Water's great. I like having things, lose their accuracy when it does land. But because a lot of the times I do bring Charizard, which is our next Pokemon we'll look at, the damage output is way less. So usually I just go with the Sludge Bomb. That helps me out against Tapu Fini. That helps against just rival fairies in general. The other thing you can do, which I think is actually probably the best thing to put on Gastrodon because it's out there so long, is Clear Smog. Because Gastrodon, besides being my way to deal with water types that give Blacephalon trouble, Gastrodon also was really good against Trick Room. Because if you can see by looking at this team, I don't really have a lot of answers to Trick Room. It's something that I'm probably going to lose a lot against because this team, because Blacephalon's weird to build around. I couldn't build everything I needed into it. Gastrodon is really good against Trick Room, and Clear Smog is great against Snorlax. It's good against Kommo-o. It's good against anything that really wants to set up big on you. I fought an Eevee online and Clear Smogged it, which was pretty great. So it's definitely worth carrying, I think. It's just you're going to have to give up having the damage output of Sludge Bomb or Muddy Water. For Eevees, this is kind of, I don't know how standard this is, but this is kind of just what I went with. That would probably work out pretty well. This is Quiet Nature, 0 speed. So under Trick Room, we're going to underspeed a lot. Not everything, but a lot. I went with 114 special attack, just so I would really... So I'm doing decent damage when I do decide to attack with Gastrodon. A lot of the time, Gastrodon's job is to sit out there and stop water attacks from hitting the team. But yeah, 72 special defense, 114 special attack, 144 defense, and 180 HP. That gives me overall really good bulk in general. It just rounds the set out really nice. Gastrodon can live a lot of hits. Obviously, the thing I have to be really careful for is Tapu Bulu. Tapu Bulu is more popular now than ever, I think, so we're going to see a lot of them on the ladder. I mean, I have a lot of really strong fire attacks, so I'm okay against Bulus typically, but in general, just keeping Gastrodon away from grass types is kind of the plan. But again, it's a really good support for Blacephalon when I lead off that way. Now, I am running Mega Charizard-Y, mostly because initially I wanted just to see how much damage Mind Blown could do in the sun, because sun boosted... It's nonsense. It's so much damage. Sun boosted Mind Blown is insane. This is kind of a more standard, bulkier Charizard-Y. We got 172 HP, 4 defense, 140 special attack, 4 special defense, and 188 speed. That lets me outspeed a lot of stuff, especially when I get Tailwind up. The moves I'm running on this one are Protect, Heat Wave, and Solar Beam. See, the thing is, I also have another grass type on this team, so if you can also, which you can, ooh, hit my mic down, I'm sorry. You can drop Solar Beam and go with Air Slash, which I think is also really good on Charizard-Y. I think Air Slash, you don't see it as often, but it's still, like, pretty decent. I think you're going to see there's more fighting types on the ladder right now because of Incineroar. So Air Slash gives you a nice way to hit those fighting types. It's good against Hitmontop, which is kind of one of the more popular ones right now. It's good against Machamp, which I've been seeing here and there lately. Heat Wave is pretty standard. Talent Protect pretty standard. This is like just a basic good Charizard-Y. Charizard-Y is just a really good Pokemon in general. I don't think I really have to sell you on Charizard-Y. He fits really well with a lot of the other Pokemon on this team. And he boosts Blacephalon's Mind Blown and Heat Waves, or Flamethrowers. Actually, let me go to Blacephalon's thing real quick here. Yeah. One thing I wanted to say about this set is because we have Heat Wave on Charizard, and we have Mind Blown on Blacephalon, if you're worried about getting smashed by Wide Guard, which like can totally happen, and actually in general this is probably a good way to do it, run Flamethrower over Heat Wave. It's nice having Heat Wave on Blacephalon if you don't want to lead off with Mind Blown, if you just want to do like really good spread fire attacks, but like sometimes like for example, like what does this team do against like a Wide Guard Aegislash? You know, like the only one that can really hit it would be Gastrodon with Earth Power, so just to get back to Blacephalon, you can also run Flamethrower instead of Heat Wave. Next up is Choice Band Landorus. So when I initially built this team, I was like, all right, I want Blacephalon on a Sun team, and I was gonna go, it was like over Gardevoir, I was gonna go with Cresselia. That was like the initial plan. Cresselia Zard-Y Landorus is like a really like popular core because it's been good for so long. But I ended up dropping Cresselia because I thought that Telepathy was more valuable on Gardevoir. And because of that, now that, I mean, like, I could have also done it with Cresselia, but, like, Choice Band EQ is insane damage on Landorus, especially if you hit that with a Helping Hand. Like, you're looking at, like, really, really, really powerful damage. Choice Band is great on this set, or on this team in general, because, like, the main way that I typically like to play this team is either lead off with Blacephalon and get some like really big KOs early that my opponent might not be ready for, or to lead off with like Gardevoir Landorus and just chip everything down really, really hard. So when Blacephalon comes in at the end, he can just kind of clean up shop. So in general, I like Landorus is obviously the best Pokemon in VGC. I think we can kind of all agree. It gets Intimidate, which is amazing. Earthquake, Rock Slide, U-Turn, Superpower in general is like a very good coverage. You can drop U-Turn if you want to go for Knockoff, which also is pretty good. I do like having Superpower for some of the fighting types running, or the rock types in the format. Superpower is also really good against switching. If you see an Incineroar switching in, you can kind of like chip it down really hard with Superpower, which is good. I'm running U-Turn just because I think U-Turn is a little bit better than Knockoff, just in the sense that I like, again, with the Intimidate, you want to be cycling it as much as possible. And you like Choice Banded U-Turn on Psychic types is a lot of damage, so that's like definitely something to consider too. I mean, Knockoff obviously would do the same thing to Psychic types, but I just like having U-Turn. I think it's gonna go pretty good with this set. So yeah, with this, because so the EV spread, this is like, I want to say this is pretty standard, honestly, for like a little bit bulkier of a Landorus. I didn't have to invest fully in attack because of the Choice Band. So I put 132 in HP, 116 in attack, 4 defense, 4 special defense, max speed adamant. So we're gonna underspeed opposing Scarf Landos, which is like annoying, but it's fine. I don't really miss the Choice Scarf on Landorus very often when I'm using it. And of course I have Gardevoir with Icy Wind for that, so that usually helps me. It lowers my, it can lower can lower my opponent's Landorus's speed, and then I don't have to worry about getting Rock Slide flinched. That's like the main thing with Landorus. Like when you're going up against other Landorus, it's like the speed tie is frustrating sometimes because you're like, if I get Rock Slide flinched, I'd be so upset. And it happens all the time. In general, though, Landorus works well with this team. He pairs up really good with Charizard and Gardevoir, and he can help Blacephalon like get to a point where Blacephalon can sweep. Now for the last slot, I'm running Serena. I think Serena is a really good Pokemon that just doesn't always work on certain teams. But on this team, Serena works really well. So I forget what I was running before I ran Serena. I think I was using Bulu for a little bit just to help Blacephalon not take earthquake damage as much, but it wasn't really like a noticeable difference. Blacephalon's still dying to most EQs if it's stab at least. And the thing that I came across a lot when I was testing this team out was Blacephalon had no way to touch priority. So, like, anytime I faced off against like a Mawile with Sucker Punch, I was dead. Couldn't do anything against it. Same with Bisharp. Bisharp's more popular now because of the rise in Incineroar, so you're seeing the Bisharp usage go up. And yeah, Blacephalon couldn't touch it. And I didn't really want to run Lele because I didn't really think Lele fit on this team that great. And I like having a Fire, Water, Grass core. So Serena, I think, is like underused. She's really, really good. So her ability, Queenly Majesty, it does the same thing that Psychic Terrain does, except that it's only on your opponent's side. It doesn't affect your team. While this Pokemon is active, allies are protected from opposing priority moves. So people forget that Serena has this ability a lot because people will still try to fake out around me. And I gave her Fightinium Z. So the reasoning behind this is, say my opponent leads off with Incineroar and somebody else, and I know he's going for a fake out. I usually, if I see Incineroar on my opponent's team, I'll bring Serena in the back, and say I lead off with like Gardevoir, Landorus. Like, I've been intimidated, so I want to get Landorus out anyway. What I'll do is I'll switch in Serena on that one, and maybe go for like an Icy Wind play. And Serena, as long as Serena isn't intimidated, Fightinium Z High Jump Kick is a guaranteed KO. On well, not guaranteed, it's like a 98% chance KO on Incineroar. And that's like max HP with like a decent amount of bulk. So that was the calc I kind of ran to decide if, like, what I want to do for Serena. Serena's also good with like a Figgy Berry or something like that. But the move set is pretty cool. It's a High Jump Kick, Trop Kick, which is a really cool grass move. It's a base power 70, has a 100% chance lower the target's attack by 1. So that combined with the Intimidate from Landorus, like, these two together are really good at like just really mitigating the damage output my opponent can like pull against me. Feint, I thought it was really cool. I like having Feint just because it breaks Detect, it breaks Protect, and Wide Guard. Like, having a way to break Wide Guard is really useful because I have a lot of spread damage on this team. But between like Landorus, Charizard, and Blacephalon, we're looking at like 4 or 5 different spread moves. So being able to block a Wide Guard's great. It won't work on Aegislash, obviously, because of the Ghost typing, but we have other ways to hit that. And then Protect, obviously. So the EV spread for this, I don't remember. Like, I used Serena last year, and I don't remember what that speed stat does. I mean, it gets me to 101. I mean, it's... I'm sure this speed stat does something valuable. I don't really know it. I guess so that means I would outspeed base 100s uninvested, neutral. But yeah, 252 attack, 180 HP and 4 defense. Just gonna be like a little bit more bulk in general. Like with Serena, you can also like run max speed, max attack, but I like having a little bit of bulk on her. She naturally has pretty decent bulk, so that just helps a lot. Yeah, and that's the team. So yeah, again, you can see like it obviously is going to have some rough matchups, and a lot of it comes down to reads and positioning, like getting Blacephalon in at a really good time so you can just kind of start sweeping. And some of these Pokemon share like common things that they kind of don't want to deal with, but this team is so fun. Like, I'm really excited to use it this week. I think you guys are gonna really like have fun watching these battles. Like, when it works, it's amazing. Like, I can sweep through a team so fast and just like really put out a ton of damage. Against like certain matchups though, it's like an auto loss where I'm like, okay, there's no way I'm coming back from this. This is not going to go well. Trick Room's the main problem because basically Gastrodon has to do all of the work against Trick Room teams. A lot of it comes down to stalling stuff out, but this is just like a really fun, cool, like offensive team, and I get to use a lot of Pokemon that I don't use very often, and Pokemon that aren't really like on meta right now. Like regular Gardevoir, no Mega is pretty, like, that's random. I don't think I've seen that very much. Serena definitely hasn't getting enough usage. I mean, these two are kind of like staples right now in VGC. But Gastrodon, this is a cool Gastrodon set too. So yeah, I'm really excited to use it this week. Thank you guys so much for checking this video out. If you have any ideas on ways to improve this team, or like other ghost Pokemon you want to see me build off of for the next team following this one, go ahead and leave some comments down below. Go ahead and click subscribe though, because if you want to check out this team in action, you're gonna have to come right back here to Lavender Town VGC. We're gonna be playing this team all week, at least 2 or 3 episodes with a new team. So yeah, thank you guys so much for checking this video out. Again, sorry there was not a lot of content last week. I hope this kind of makes up for it. Again, my name is Ryan. It is so nice having you guys by. I will catch you guys next time. See ya.